Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. What a wild freaking ride. Today has been absolutely insane and I'm here for it. I know you are as well. My gosh. Obviously what most people are talking about today, well, I mean, I guess technically a number of things, but all because of Bitcoin. Bitcoin rallied up to like $64,000. Inside of a 24-hour period, Bitcoin increased by about $8,000 freaking dollars. Freaking dollars. XRP had a little bit of a ride on its own, It ended up above 60 cents, crashed down to 54 cents. Now it's back a bit higher. It's actually about where it was when I was recording a video about 24 hours ago. Coinbase went down. Got to talk about that. And I'll say this at the outset. Like, the recurring issues ever since, at least when I jumped into crypto in 2017. And so that's why I was like, guys, you don't even really need to keep checking the prices of your cryptos. If you want to know what's going on, just try to log into Coinbase. And if you can't, then things are really good because they can't handle the traffic during these times of high consumption. Absolutely freaking crazy. And so clearly the bears are rethinking their analysis at this particular, all the chart guys, because this is insane what has happened. Like, and I understand, like, as far as the chart analysts who have been bears go, it's always about probability of outcomes. So a lot of them, they were just saying they didn't think it's probable. So I don't think that we should be giving them a bunch of crap over this, unless it's the Capo type that will just never admit that he was wrong and then will just be a perma-bear. Like, okay, fine, that's a little bit different. That's somebody that I'm not going to go to for any sort of reasonable analysis here. But for everybody else, once you've gotten through these levels and obliterated resistance, I think it's kind of like all bets are off at this point. I think that's what a lot of them are thinking at this point. So exciting times ahead, and doesn't it just make it look like that more probable that we are going to see Bitcoin at a new all-time high? And if that happens, you know what that means for XRP? I would be shocked. And we're going to talk about XRP for sure, but I would be shocked if XRP doesn't hit a new all-time high if Bitcoin does. Oh my God, everything is just like teed up about perfectly. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Look, these days like this, few and far between, but my God, it's fun. I absolutely love this. And so as I record this, XRP is 58.3 cents. Now, about 24 hours ago when I was recording a video, maybe it was just over that, XRP was 58.5 cents. So despite all the volatility, XRP is about where it was 24 hours ago. Of course. But that's not a bad thing. We're going to talk about that. Bitcoin, $61,489.99. Market cap for the asset class, $2.29 trillion. But let's look at the 24-hour prices here. So if you go to certain markets, Bitcoin did break $64,000. Here you can see on Live Coin Watch, if you look at the 24-hour high, it's reporting it was $63,526. But I don't know how or where they're pulling their data from. And so any website you go to that is indexing this stuff is going to pull it in different ways. And so I think it may have just been individual markets that actually hit 64,000 and not necessarily every single exchange on the planet, which is perfectly fine and perfectly normal. But man, 24-hour low, $57,000. And when I checked this just a little bit earlier, because again it's a rolling 24-hour period, the swing from low to high, it was almost exactly $8,000. So I know it doesn't quite show that on the screen. It's more like 7,000 if you look at what's on the screen right now. I swear I saw it right before recording, or a little bit before recording this, and that's what it was. Massive, insane. Here's the 24-hour swing for XRP. 54.9 cents was the low, and high of 60.5 cents. And look, there were people, when this crash happened, this is not something specific to XRP, but of course, as soon as this happened, I saw people freaking out saying, oh, this isn't normal, and some people immediately going into conspiracy theory land, this isn't normal, somebody's pulling the strings behind, behind the scenes, and somebody even made a video, highlighted, like, this is just not normal, somebody's doing something. It's like, levered longs out flush, boys. Like that's what happened. More on that in just a second here, but nothing bad or weird happened specifically to XRP. Okay, it's leveraged traders getting wrecked on an incredibly volatile day. That's what happened. Here you can see the crypto fear and greed index at 80 out of 100, so we are in extreme greed. Not surprised to see that, obviously. Here's a post from a very popular analyst, Invest Answers, 182,900 followers on X. Writes, Bitcoin shatters expectations, nearly hits all-time highs before the halving, a first in its history, from $50,900 to $64,000 in 48 hours amid extreme greed. With only 49 days to go, we are witnessing the prelude to an unprecedented rally. And folks, that is crazy. In a 48-hour period, about $13,000 increase for Bitcoin. That wasn't supposed to be able to happen, but here we are. Yeah, I'm for it, man. I'm here for it. Chart analyst Ali Martinez at 10:56 a.m. Central Time posted the following. Here, and I can make Woody screen grab full screen also. He said, there is literally no resistance ahead of Bitcoin. All we see is a major support wall between $54,300 and $56,200, where 903,540 addresses bought nearly 500,000 Bitcoin. So, yeah, that's quite a level. And look, and I'll just tell you this, like, a lot of analysts that I follow, and I just for the sake of time, I never pull up every single analyst that I follow. That would be an outrageously long video. But what I've seen from analyst after analyst after analyst, at least from the ones that have been calling for these types of bigger moves for Bitcoin and are calling for all-time highs, what I keep seeing is that the expectation, broadly speaking, is that even if you consolidate here for a little bit, we are going to be seeing probably in coming days, perhaps less than days, a massive move to the upside and ultimately taking out that all-time high for Bitcoin a little shy of $70,000. Now that is going to be crazy to see Bitcoin in price discovery again. If we get that, and it's just, what a time to be in crypto. And look at this from Eric Balcunas. That name should sound familiar to you by now. Senior ETF analyst for Bloomberg. And he shared the following at 11:31 a.m. Central Time. He wrote, geez, only halfway through trading day, and new 9 Bitcoin ETFs have already broken their all-time daily volume record with $2.6 billion. We got 4 Bitcoin ETFs in top 20. IBIT, which is BlackRock's, is number 4 overall. It's going to trade more today than in its first 2 weeks combined. This is officially a craze. Now, folks, how many people were expecting this to be the case, this type of volume, over a month after the Bitcoin ETF products launched? Not too many people. It's honestly, it's much more consequential than what pretty much just about anybody was calling for that I've seen anyway. The expectation was, yeah, there'd probably be some excitement right out the gate, and there was a fair bit. I think that's reasonable to say. But it's increasing now. Like, it's increasing. That's incredible. And yeah, it was a sell the news event. But if you look at the actual volume for the product, it's always been pretty damn impressive here. And so Credible Crypto reposted that and said, the pump is literally not going to stop. Gotta love this. Here's another post from James. This is from James Seifert, another one of the ETF guys, also with Bloomberg. He shared the following at 1:31 p.m. The Bitcoin ETFs are absolutely demolishing their prior trading volume record from day one. We're at $6.28 billion, and there's still 90 minutes left of trading. Folks, again, absolutely crazy. And then here you have this at 3:13 p.m. Central Time. Eric Balcunas wrote, the new 9 doubled their volume record set Monday with just about $6 billion traded. IBIT led with $3.3 billion of it. Fidelity did $1.4 billion of it. Both double their previous records. The total number of trades was doubled too, over 500,000 individual trades between them. IBIT alone greater than QQQ. That's crazy. That is absolute insanity. Whoa. And here, look at this headline, $638,300,000 in liquidations rock crypto markets as Bitcoin's relentless rally reaches new heights. And so again, that crash we saw with XRP today, it is not the case that this is something specifically horrifically wrong with XRP. It happened with Bitcoin. I mean, the whole market, my God. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't need to pull up anything for this. We all know what happened. Prices going ballistic, market crash, people got liquidated. That's what happened. And so Credible Crypto was explaining this, and he says it's actually a very good and very healthy thing And he said, this is at what time? 12:24 p.m. Central. For some context about this liquidity flush, open interest has been wiped back to the levels we saw at $46,000 for Bitcoin, obviously, taking out both longs and shorts in one aggressive move. This is very healthy. The lower open interest is, as we climb, the better. This shakeout sets the stage for higher, faster, now that we've removed some froth off the top. And so think about that. The froth cut off the top here is a bunch of people got liquidated because they're playing with fire, which I always think is ridiculous. But hey, if people want to lever long or short, whatever. I will never play with. Like in this asset class, do you really need to do that? The most volatile asset class on the entire planet, allowing for life-changing wealth in relatively short periods of time, and that's not enough for you? Like I always think it's insane. But people are gonna people, you know. But anyway, so with some of the froth being gone and seeing that Bitcoin is above $61,000, Credible Crypto's got a pretty damn good point. Taking away some of that froth, there's a reason that he is in full bull mode. He's like, no, this is just going to keep going. This is absolutely just going to keep going. Even if there's a brief period of consolidation, it's going to keep going. And that seems to be the maintained perspective there. Here you can see Crypto Insight UK shared this XRP price chart. Same situation here. He wrote, absolute nuke candle on XRP, flushing out the late leverage longs. It was bought up quickly so far with big volume. It makes the XRP BTC chart drop right into my area. Is it time to send? And so again, viewed as a very bullish thing. And we've been talking about how XRP's increasingly looked worse against Bitcoin and how historically that has been a crucial moment in terms of price action for XRP. It's been very good. When you get, I know it might sound counterintuitive if you're new to crypto, but just look on a damn chart. If you're looking at an XRP BTC chart, when there's that level of dismal performance against Bitcoin for XRP, that's the moment before it sends and go rocket to the upside. Because the gap can only get so big before people start recognizing, wow, that disparity is gigantic. I'm going to take advantage of this. And then it happens, and then another person does it, and the next, and the next, and then eventually get the FOMO, the follow the leader stuff, and takes off. Multiple instances throughout history where that has happened. So the fact that there is this discrepancy, let's say, between XRP and Bitcoin in terms of performance, not worried in the least. Not even a tiny little bit. And then there was this from chart analyst Credible Crypto. So if you're wondering, when's XRP going to go? Just sit tight, baby girl. It's going to be okay. Here's what Credible Crypto said. Tons of people in my comments asking about their alts and when they will move. Folks, I've said 1,000 times, Bitcoin will lead. Alts will follow sometime shortly after new highs are made. So if you're sitting in an alt that isn't moving but looks good on higher time frame, it just means you need to be a little patient. That's all. Just be patient, and in the meantime, buy some Bitcoin or something so you can enjoy the ride to new highs. Your alts will follow after. Yeah, and look, so XRP, as articulated by Credible Crypto in recent days, XRP does look good on the higher time frame. And he does believe that XRP is highly probable going to exceed $10 this rally. Yep. Just got to be patient. Let Bitcoin do its thing. If it's really going to hit a new all-time high, let it do its thing. Alts are going to follow. XRP historically lags behind. Just let it do its thing. That'd be fantastic. Then there's this from my fellow XRP YouTuber, the Blockchain Backer. He shared the following at 4:19 a.m. So mind you, this is before the biggest of the fireworks for Bitcoin went off. What, 4:19? Let's see what the hell price that was. So that would have been, yeah, okay, so Bitcoin is just over $59,000, which I think is what Blockchain Backer is actually highlighting in that. Yeah, here we go. So he shared this Bitcoin price chart and he wrote, congratulations to Bitcoin. All retraces poked through. What an incredible accomplishment. Something I definitely thought was not probable. $59,000. And that's true. So, you know, if you're an intellectually honest chart analyst, as of course the Blockchain Backer is, then, you know, you acknowledge stuff when levels are broken through because it's not something that he even needs to feel ashamed of. Like what he's just to be clear, and I'm kind of pushing back against some of the negative stuff I've seen towards him today because I think some of it's unjustified and unfair. He was talking about probability of outcome, and he had perfectly reasonable explanations and rationale for why he didn't think this was probable while never saying it's impossible or couldn't happen. And I think that that's what you should want from somebody, if for anybody in your life that you're going to trust. You want intellectual honesty, and he's got that in spades. So, the fact that this has happened doesn't mean that he no longer has skill or talent. That's not even remotely what this is. But you read some of the comments, some people are just being jerks. And so I just kind of wanted to take a moment to push back against that, because I think a lot of it's actually unfair, right? You're not going to have, you can't, because you're talking about in terms of probability outcomes, you're not going to have 100% hit rate, because sometimes the improbable happens. Sometimes the improbable happens. There you go. And that's what he's saying happened here. Here's another post from the blockchain backer, 7:37 a.m. To understand the uniqueness of what's happening here with Bitcoin, number one, pre-block reward halving never happened. So he's talking about the fact that at this point in the cycle, before we've even seen the Bitcoin halving occur, which is going to occur apparently on April 20th, to have this a move like this for Bitcoin before that, this is unprecedented. That's what he's saying here. Number two, a tight monetary policy environment never happened. Three, no expansion in the stock market never happened. It's truly a wild moment. Yeah, and that's why I myself brought this up for each of the last 2 days, because I was like, that seems like these are legit concerns. Perfectly reasonable for him to brought it up recently, and then again today to just acknowledge, well, okay, hasn't happened before, but now it has, right? That's perfectly reasonable here. I mean, and I told you guys just in the last couple of days, I said that I still leaned in bullish, but I said I'd have stronger conviction if it were the case that the stock market were expanding, because historically that's what we should expect. And I mean, yes, technically you're getting new highs with the Dow Jones and S&P 500, but it's from like two companies, So it's not the broader, broader stock market that's just been rallying. I mean, look at, like I was mentioning, the Russell 2000, for example, not exactly doing so hot. So I think that the critiques that the blockchain backers had about this environment and bringing up the concerns, completely reasonable, absolutely completely reasonable. Then at 7:27 a.m. this morning Central Time, blockchain backer wrote, "This is the kind of environment that has historically sent altcoins out of control." And so, folks, we've got some fun stuff to look forward to. This is going to be the best year. We deserve this, especially we here in the XRP community, because, god damn it, we have gone through some nonsense the last few years. Freaking Kim Jong-Ginsler. Here's a post from chart analyst JT, and he's another analyst, perfectly reasonable, what he was saying he thought was probable, but he acknowledged that he was wrong, and he wrote this post, which I just thought, wow, this is an intellectually honest person, so I will continue to trust him. Because, you look at the Capo types, Capo of Crypto, my God. I'm sure many of you are familiar with who he is. Over 800,000 followers on X, and he gained most of them, or at least huge chunks of them, because he was bearish in January of last year, screaming that Bitcoin's going to $12,000, and he's been screaming negative outlooks since January of last year. The whole way up, he's just screaming and crying about it, and he's been wrong every step of the way, but he will not admit that he's been wrong. He just won't do it. He just keeps being a bear. It just doesn't make sense. It's hard for me to believe that's intellectual honesty, Like, it doesn't make sense. Because it's not like I lose respect for people if they're wrong. We're all wrong. I'm wrong, you're wrong, people are wrong sometimes. And even here, we're just talking about probability of outcome, so it's a little bit different than just outright being wrong in terms of what you thought was probable, okay, but that's why when you see something like this, I'm like, yeah, okay. But anyway, so chart analyst JT said, Bitcoin monthly candle. Orange line was me, 786 fib. The text in the box is also me. And he wrote, I was wrong, for those of you not looking on the screen grab. And then he wrote, while I've missed an incredible 25% plus move on my Bitcoin bags, I congratulate those of you who have made it. I mean that. And I'm sorry for creating some doubt. And so I just got to pause there. I don't think he needs to apologize for creating doubt. He's just being intellectually honest. He put some warnings out there. He defended his position. He said, I don't think it's probable. Not that it's impossible. I just don't think it's probable. That's what you should do. So he apologized for that. I don't really think he needed to, but nice sentiment nonetheless. And then he says, but like I stated before, if I am ever wrong, I want to be man enough to admit it and be straight up with my virtual friends here. The good news for my error is that my alts have helped me out immensely, so maybe it's the Lord's way of humbling me, while at the same time doing so gently with helping me gain with my alts. Now for the really great news. Alts are going to rip higher once Bitcoin settles down. So, if I'm going to be wrong, let me be really wrong. And fair enough. So I thought that was a good post. And yeah, the idea of alts ripping to the upside, I can't find an analyst that doesn't believe that's going to happen. It's just that pretty much everybody says, yeah, Bitcoin's going to lead the way first. But yeah, this is going to be, my God, we're talking about 2017 level insanity area. Like if it unfolds like this, and we're close, we gotta wait to make sure it happens, but we're close. So here's Capo of Crypto. This is the guy I was talking about. 813,500 followers on X. And here you can see February 23rd, and this is aged like a fine milk. He wrote, I have taken profits on all altcoin positions. I'm totally out of the market now. Ouch. Ouch. Permabear, man, since January of last year. And so, again, I don't care if people are wrong. We're humans. We're going to be wrong from time to time. It's just, it's just really tough for me to believe that he believes the stuff he's been saying for the last, 13 months. I think he just kept hoping, well, at some point, if I just keep saying it, it will be true. And then I'll say, there, see, I was right. It didn't turn out like that. He was screaming $12,000 when Bitcoin was $15,000, and it went up to $64,000 today. Yike. Singular, yike. No, that's plural. It's in 13 months. Yikes. Plural. Here's an XRP chart shared by analyst Dark Defender. XRP visited our support levels and started to form the third wave by hitting mid-level orange resistance. Third wave targets 91 cents. Expected targets 64.62 cents on March 1st. 77.07 cents to 91.91 cents around March 10th through 13th. And note that he posted this morning at 3:03 a.m. before the greatest of the fireworks had really gotten going for the crypto asset class. But he's been pretty consistent in terms of what his expectations are price-wise. And when you see developments like we had today, it becomes easier for people who let their emotions get the best of them to see, maybe it is possible. That's always the type of stuff that happens, because XRP was climbing. And again, just let Bitcoin do its thing. It's going to be fine. And then there's Coinbase. From Brian Armstrong, founder and CEO of Coinbase, at 11:59 a.m. Central Time, he wrote, we are dealing with a large surge of traffic. Apologies for any issues you encounter. The team is working to remediate. And so I responded to that and I wrote, bruh, you've had over half a decade of being aware of surges like this. How are they letting this happen still? It's just absurd. And the worst part about this one in particular is you're able to log in and it just said that your account balance was 0. That's what it did. In case you hadn't heard, it said your funds are safe. But my God, the panic that set in, and understandably so. You log in, you don't know what's going on. What, I don't have my money anymore? Like, if anything, they should have just, instead of that happening, put up a damn error screen so that they can't see the account balance being 0. Like, what are you doing? How is that even a thing that happened? That shouldn't have even been technologically possible. It should have been coded in such a way that if there's a surge in traffic and things go down because you're Coinbase and you know that you're going to fail, then at least that wouldn't happen. Holy hell, guys. So then he had an update, and this is at 2:11 p.m. today. Apps are now recovering. We had modeled a 10x surge in traffic and load tested it. This exceeded that number. It's expensive to keep services over-provisioned, but we'll need to keep working on auto-scaling solutions and killing any remaining bottlenecks. Thank you for bearing with us. So, folks, your eyes don't deceive you, and you heard what I just read. It's on your screen right there. This is the CEO of Coinbase saying, we don't want to spend enough money on our platform to make sure that it won't go down during times of high traffic and extreme volatility. We're just not going to do that. It's a little pricey. If it goes down, it goes down. You think that your balance is 0. Whatever. Suck it. Here's a bunch of eggplant emojis for all you crypto nerds out there. It's basically the attitude from Brian Armstrong. Eggplant emojis for everybody. Wow. It's just astonishing to see just that. Is he lacking the self-awareness to see how terrible the optics are of that? It's astonishing, truly. And then there were people that, thought that Coinbase was hacked and funds were actually stolen. Oh my God, like, why are people jumping to these conclusions? So here's what I wrote on that. I'm kind of amazed that some people actually believed Coinbase was hacked instead of it just being a tech problem due to a surge during a crazy time. If Coinbase funds were stolen, do you really think it's programmed in such a way that the user would see a zero balance? No. If Coinbase were ever insolvent for any reason, the last thing they would do is broadcast that message. Come on, folks, don't be so damn naive. Now, somebody named JB wrote to me and said, maybe, maybe not. Organizations don't get to choose how their system will respond to an unknown attack. Once you're owned, it's an uphill battle to minimize and mitigate. And so I pushed back because, again, and nothing against him on a personal level at all. I know that doesn't make sense. And it's as simple as what I responded with. I wrote, you'd have to assume that account balance data is actually linked to blockchains, which obviously makes no sense given the platform updates in real time. Makes no sense. So, folks, if you buy and sell Bitcoin, you may notice that you see the results on Coinbase instantly, as fast as XRP would settle. That's because it's not a blockchain transaction that's occurring that you're seeing. You're seeing what their database is spitting out at you. So if the blockchains were ever successfully compromised and Bitcoin or XRP or anything was stolen, it's not going to show up in your account balance. Why would they be so stupid as to do that? It'll just exacerbate the problem. If they get hacked, they're just going to have every customer under the sun freaking out that much sooner. I mean, there'd still be massive freakouts, but my God, you're just going to make it worse by broadcasting that? No. So it was very obvious. Of course, this wasn't hacked. And then, of course, if it were hacked, and it just happened to be happening at the greatest, greatest amount of increase in terms of traffic and volatility in crypto that we've seen basically forever, and it just happened to be a hack right there. Like, some people were not thinking through this, saying stuff like that. And then there was this, and this is a good jab from cryptocurrency exchange Kraken. And this is a jab against Coinbase. They simply wrote, just in, not down. That's a dig. Oh, you gotta love it. So anyway, suffice it to say, the best yet to come. And man, at the time that I've been recording, did I say what time it was? I don't know if anybody's curious. It's now, as I'm wrapping this up, 10:40 p.m. Central Time. Of course, that is, what the hell day is it anyway? Wednesday, February 28th, 2024. And Bitcoin now almost at $62,000 again. XRP climbing as well, 58.9 cents. Looking good. Fireworks not over. Even if the analysts are correct that say, hey, it might take a few days or so to consolidate, and not everybody, like some people think we're going to see fireworks even sooner than that, but even if, my God, like as exciting as today was, there's real good reason to believe this isn't, you're going to look back, this won't be the best or most exciting day when it's all said and done. And XRP will absolutely have its day in the sun as long as Bitcoin hits a new all-time high. I'm not as confident without that, because XRP's never hit a new all-time high without Bitcoin doing so first. But if Bitcoin could get through those levels that were thought to be impossible and pop up to $64,000, it suddenly doesn't seem crazy to think it could go up another $5,000 or $6,000 and knock out the all-time high, does it? Wow, this is absolute insanity. I'm having so much fun today, and I hope all of you are too. I'm willing to bet that the vast majority of you are too, even if you had a little freak out with Coinbase, and I understand why if you did. I mean, you log in, you've got like a substantial portion of your net worth perhaps on Coinbase because you are not engaging in self-custody. Mm-hmm. Okay, but if you're doing that, I can totally understand the freak out. Whew. All right, I'm going to wrap up here. Wow, I'm having such a good time with this stuff. I love this. Thanks for hanging out here too. I got to tell you, I'm genuinely humbled by all the support. I've been doing this, running this YouTube channel for over half a decade now. And it's a blast. It really is my most favoriteest hobby that I've ever had in my entire life. And just getting to spend all these exciting times with you good people, it means the world to me. It really does. I really appreciate all the support. So thanks so much. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.